And boys and girls, I hope you all had a good Christmas and a good New Year. We are back. We're back from after the winter break. All the drivers have refreshed themselves, recovered, and get themselves ready for the end of the season of the TTL League tonight. So, to start off the old running to the end, we are going to a trip to Singapore. So, good old Singapore. We'll be looking forward to seeing you around there in a minute with all the history beyond the background of Singapore. But we will go through first though with the standings of the last race just for the winter break, which was in Monza, which was a very good, entertaining and all-out action-packed action of last time out. So with further ado, we go through the drivers and constructors respectively. We start off with the drivers first. So, we have got Hamilton up. Sorry about that, I was losing my voice there as I was starting off. Let's try again, Steph, let's try again. Right, starting off then, we got Hamilton in P1 there with 176. We got Spike in second with 143. We got Siege in third with 131. We got Gore in fourth with 125. Lambo in fifth with 121. We've got Payo in sixth with 73. We have got Jay in seventh with 61. We've got Ollie P in eighth with 52. Spaghetti in ninth with 39. We've got Plaster in 10th with 37. Maze is in 11th with 32. We've got Darren Sinclair in 12th with 26. We've got Struth, Squeezy and TTG Ollie joint 13th there with 25 points between them all. We have then got in 16th, we've got Maximus with 22 points, also tied there with SJ Miller as well. We've got Alan K in 18th with 17 points. We've got Clifford Red in 19th with 16. We've got Zenki in 20th with 12. We've got Damien B in 21st with 12 points. We've got Sean in 22nd with 4 points. And we've got Uzi in 23rd there with just 2 points. So that is your drivers. And for the constructors then, Red Bull they're still at the top with 228 points there. McLaren's are closing in on them with 10 points away with second place with 218 points. We've got the Mercedes and Renault have a little duel there on the points. The joint third there with 165 points. We've got Force India in fifth place with 159. We've got the Sabres in 6th with 110. We've got the Haas in 7th with 102. We've got Toro Rosso in 8th with 86. We've got the Ferraris in 9th with 83. And we've got the Williams there in 10th with 43. So that is your drivers and constructors there respectfully sorted. So back on to the main event tonight then. We have got the Singapore Grand Prix, the only race Canada that is not just a street circuit, but it's held in complete night, situated in the Marina Bay. Now, Singapore is also known to be the heaviest of endurance on the Grand Prix Canada, with extreme humidity, long length track per lap time, roughly lap times you should see should be in the low for 1 minute 40s, but originally it was about near the 1 minute 50s. But as obviously with the 2018 cars, they'll be a extra bit more quicker, so all is all good, providing no safety car comes up, which will dent the timing down a little bit. Normally in a full 100% race, the race just finished just under like 2 hours, providing no any hold-ups or situations like a safety car, which then pushes the time limit to 2 hour race timing limit like an endurance. And also the weather's generally dry, but obviously humid as well, so the drivers normally tend to sweat out a lot of sweat and lose quite a lot of body fluids, but obviously as is a game, it doesn't replicate that, but it does put a strain on their mental ability to keep completely fully focused for a full 31 laps, as it is 50%, not compared to the 62 laps is 100%. So all challenging here for the drivers for tonight. Tyre selections will be Hypersofts along with, I believe, Ultras or Super Softs. It's one of the two, and then obviously the soft tyre as the hardest. So I could be wrong, but we'll have a look once we get going in qualifying to actually fully confirm the tyre compounds to be selected for tonight. So we're just waiting on for the drivers then just to get themselves all geared up. At the moment we have currently got 12 races here, so mostly everyone will get the points tonight, and we will see what will happen during the actual race itself, and also the weather. Hopefully the drivers will be praying for a dry race, but anything can happen in Formula 1, and it generally does. Now obviously there has been like a couple of changes. The GOAT has joined the TTG Racing Esports team, so congratulations to the GOAT there and also welcome to the TTG Racing Series. And we also got a new driver of TTG Ales joining as well for his debut as well, so welcome to the league. We'll keep an eye on his performance and see how he goes on. Right then, we are going off to qualifying then for Singapore. Just doing the old usual tricks. Spam my next button so the FOM cannot say a word. So, who do you think is going to be tipping pole tonight then? Just place down in the comments. Who do you think is going to get pole for the Singapore Grand Prix? Okay. And also potential predicted race winners as well. We'll keep an eye on that and track it through. So then, 18 minutes of qualifying round. Singapore is away. And looking at the track, it is dry, so drivers will be mighty relieved with that. So then we've got the hypers, we've got the softs, and I think I remember correctly, super softs are the 3 compounds. I could be wrong, but anyway, we've got the first car coming out, and it's a Williams. The question is, which one is it? Which Williams is it coming out onto the track? We will find out once we go through. And it's a one and only Squeezy coming in as a reserve, who is the first man out on the track. Always eager to get himself right out there to get the grips of knowing all the track, so Squeezy will be the guinea pig of my track guide around Singapore tonight. So as you can see, racing underneath floodlights. Singapore made its debut in 2008, and since then has remained on the calendar. It also has its good racing moments as well, like actions galore and obviously incidents including accidents. But it's also had its controversy with the first race as well, with the Pacific of the Renaults back then with Alonso and Nelson Piquet Jr. When Nelson Piquet Jr. decided to spin it into the wall, saying that it's just an accident, and obviously, you know, car went wrong, but turned out to find out that he actually put it in there on purpose just to help out Alonso as much as possible. So then Squeezy's just finishing off his out lap. We will be switching back on to TV Pod and getting self geared up. So here we go then. Come around the last couple of corners now, and away we go for the flying lap. So heading down towards turn 1, of course you get your braking point here for turn 1. Easy, you can cut it and invalidate your lap. Get through turn 2 and turn 3. Nicely done there so far. Back and just wants to come out a little bit, but Squeezy gets under control. Now heading up towards turn 4. And again, nicely controlled there. DRS is now active. Heading down to the kink of 5. Getting the braking point here ready for turn 6. Again, taking a nice wide line and keeps him under control. Now into turn 7. He goes a little bit wide down on the steering, but the back end did almost want to come out. Now into turn 8. Squeezy here, definitely pushing his limits here. Now heading up towards turn 9, or should I say known as Singapore Sling. Used to be chicane here, but it's now just a full left-hander. Into turn 10, and now into turn 11. All Squeezy there getting very close to the wall. Not very good. Now Ganson's bridge, and turn 12 into the very slow hairpin. Nicely held there so far. Squeezy pushing its limits of the car as much as he can. Heading down towards turn 13. Yeah, nicely done, nicely turned in. On the back end, wanted to come out there, not ideal, into the kink of 14, into turn 15. And also now into turn 16, again, under control so far, into turn 17, underneath the grandstand. Into turn 18, and turn 19. And also into turn 20 coming up as well. Also 21 as well, because it's double apex left. But then Squeezy decides to put his lap there, so still, he needs to complete an out lap and fly on lap with it. So, Squeezy there just keeping it to pits. Meanwhile, Gort is out there on a set of softs. 3 drivers, no, make that 4 drivers out there on a set of softs. We've got Gort, Els, Siege, and Hamilton selecting soft tyres. We have also got Maze and Plaster out on a set of Ultras. I'll also make that Alan Kate as well. Now just trying to find a driver nearby the end of that lap as much as possible. Trying to track him and see if they're on the flyer. And it looks like it might be Alan Kate, but we keep on board with Alan just in case if he does set lap time in his Scarlet Ferrari. Heading up towards the line. And there's a 1:37.9 there for Alan then. So that is the benchmark target so far. Not bad laps on there for Alan, especially on the set of Ultras there. But meanwhile though, Maximus there goes a bit quicker there, and he goes to 1:37.4 there. So Maximus is 5.5 seconds quicker. Obviously, put those lap times in on the Hypersofts, so maybe going for a bit of a aggressive strategy there. So, but still maintains P1 at the moment as it stands for now. Plus they're going over Anson's bridge. Spaghetti's up there at the moment, setting up a lap time as we speak. So, meanwhile though, the Gort putting 7 P3 with a 1:38.1 on the set of softs. Now that is a good lap time there for the Gort, especially on a set of soft tyres there. The slowest compound going for tonight. So, he's only about 8 tenths off Maximus there, and that's 2 compounds difference. So, keep an eye on the Gort. You might see him go even quicker later on, maybe when he puts on a set of Ultras, maybe. Meanwhile though, Plaster coming around the last couple of corners now. Where would he put Plaster then? He puts himself up into P4 there with a 1:39.134. So, good lap time there for Plaster. He usually said so, he was looking forward to Singapore. So, he'll be doing everything as much as he can to get himself a good performance out here tonight. Spaghetti meanwhile, going around the last couple of corners. Meanwhile though, reigning world champions season 2, Siege just put himself up into P2 to 1:37.7 on the set of softs. So good lap time there for Siege. Meanwhile though, Spaghetti there decides to abort his lap anyway. So there he is, season 2 world champion Siege, putting himself right up towards the front. Ideal for possibility of going for a victory tonight. Squeezy though. Oh, and Siege has retired. Oh, what has happened to Siege? I hope he hasn't crashed into the wall. So, meanwhile though, Squeezy here, it was definitely looking a bit ragged on this lap, but still pushing his Williams as much as he possibly can. The only problem is for Singapore, you got to be completely heavily focused. No room for error because the walls are right there. And obviously if you push your limits too much, if you're over certain parts of the track, you could be literally invalidate your lap time, or even worse, saying hello to the wall there, which will completely cost you damage to your car, or completely writing off your car, or a complete dent in your confidence. Meanwhile then, TTGL's then just starting off his flying lap. His first flying lap in the league as well, so welcome to the league there, Els. He'll be literally looking for a good performance, and he's also representing Red Bull as well, so we'll see what the Red Bull driver can do. We'll go on board with him. There we go, going into turn 6 then. Heading to turn 7. Car looking absolutely stable here. And now it's turn 8. Front end just wants to slip away there, but again kept under control. Headers around the Singapore sling. Again nicely well balanced into 10, 10, 10, 11 across the Anderson Bridge. Ooh, he nearly went into the wall there, but kept under control. And turn 12. Again, a very tight line, but gets it perfect on the traction on the exit there. Again, now ending up into turn 14. Again, nicely under control there for Ailes. Looking very promising here for the Red Bull driver. Not pushing his car too much. Keeping away for that wall there, because that will be typically a good feature in a race. Very easily accident prone around there if you hadn't go wide into that wall. But Els is keeping it all under control and going full flat out here around the last couple of corners. And obviously looks like he'd validate his lap time there, so he's going for another run here again. But Squeezy did put himself up on the board this time lap times wise. He's got 1:37.7 there, so again, he is on the harder compounds to Maximus, so obviously the guys that are on the ultras and the softs particularly, they have a good strategy advantage in hand, whilst the likes of the hypersoft runners would be literally pushing their tyres to its limits. It'd be alright in qualifying, but obviously in a race get one good lap performance and afterwards it just starts to slip away. So then obviously as we've gone past just over 7 minutes left, we have got Maximus then on P1 1:37.4. We've got Squeezy in second with 1:37.7. 2-1. We've got Siege in third with 1:37.780. Alan K in fourth with 1:37.9. Gort in fifth with 1:30.184, and Plaster in sixth with 1:39.134. So that is your top 6 there so far. Or I should say now top 7 if you featured Hamilton then, championship challenger and leading the championship at the moment, setting a lap time with 1:36.6 on a set of softs. So Hamilton looks like he's very confident, especially setting a lap time on a set of softs then. So, are we going to see a more dash for the pole position then within the next 6.5 minutes? We should find out very shortly. Meanwhile though, the ones that haven't set a lap time then, Damien B, who's decided to not take part in qualifying, Maze, Ailes, SJ Mella and Spaghetti then are the current ones that have not set a lap time yet so far, so they've still got time there, although they don't want to be leaving it in the garage for too long, because time is very precious around the track around Singapore, and it's quite a long to get going as well. The out laps, you want a good decent out lap as well to prep your tyres up very nicely, including your brakes. So I'm moving in on board with Els. Hopefully this time he's on the good flyer here. He's not cut or take any bad day lap time anywhere around the track. Ooh, goes a little bit wide there, but luckily it should not invalidate its lap time because it's still classed as a racing line there. Lining up towards the going underneath the tunnel of the grandstand. Again, this corner in particular, the wall on the right on that exit, you can easily hit that if you go a bit wide it can damage your wing or you can take off your tyre completely. So that is the main feature to be looking for, especially in race conditions. Meanwhile, Els there looks like she's prepping, just like trying to learn the track gap limits as much as he possibly can. Meanwhile though, Alan Kay snuck himself up into P2 there with a 136.6 on Hypers. And also to celebrate off, he does a little bit of an oversteer drift around turn 3 there. So Alan Kay there put himself up into P2. That was a good lap time there for him. Hopefully he can maintain that position. Wimbo on board with Maze in his Renault. Sole Renault remaining left in qualifying as his teammates decided to not take part in quali. Now, obviously, Maze is on the wheel. He used to be like racing on the pad here, and it's obviously his confidence is now starting to come up brilliantly for the Renault driver. So, see how it looks like for Maze. We'll go on board with him. Watch him go through. Again, keeping it under control here from Maze so far, heading up in towards turn 4. Again, nicely timed there so far. DRS is active. Put it up into overdrive now to get as much as you can out of the Renault. Now heading down into turn 6. All back in, didn't want to come out, but nicely held. Going into turn 7. Again, keeping under control. Turn 8. Ooh, understeering nearly went into the Rolex board, but kept it out of there. Heading up towards the Singapore sling. Ooh, didn't want to take it perfectly there, but still maintain speed. In turn 11 across the Addison Bridge. Ending up into turn 12. And there we go, nicely done now on the exit there. Good job there so far from Mace. Meanwhile, the GOAT has got P1 with 135.5 at the moment. And now in turn 13. Again, nice control, beautiful through there from Maze. The kick of 14 and 15. Into turn 16. Very tricky if you mess it up. Then into turn 17, crucial of the exit there. Again, nicely under control in turn 18. Into turn 19 and 20 now. Again, back in, didn't want to snap there. And going to turn 21 and 22. Lifted up a little bit there. But puts himself up into P7 anyway, so not bad lap time there for Maze. Especially on a set of ultras there. So then at the moment then the GOAT is up there with P1 then with a 135.5. With only 2 minutes left. Now it's the crunch time now for anyone who's in the pits to get out on track now. Otherwise you're going to be literally losing time out on track. Even though the lap times are just over a minute and a half. Still would not risk it. Maximus and Squeezy are both out there now on the at laps. Also Alan Kay and Hamilton as well. So S.J. Mellor decided to not take part in qualifying then. With no lap time. He'll be joined on the back there with Damien. So then with a minute and a half to go then. The GOAT then thinks he's done enough with the 135.5 then, and decided not to go for another run. So then Hamilton looking to be the challenger in this. Alan Kay is looking for to hopefully put himself up there as well. He's another one to keep an eye out for. Maximus as well looking to see if he can go for pole, but he will be the first man of the 4-car quartet then to go for challenge for pole. And Squeezy is also in the mix as well. He's just literally just up the road then from Maximus, but Maximus will be the first one then to set lap time. So Maximus, Squeezy, Hamilton and Allen, and they're in that running order, the ones to generally keep an eye out for. So Hamilton there, Maximus then will be looking to maximise that hassle. Ooh, nearly went in the wall there. Nearly went in the wall. And nearly cost himself his qualifying. But Maximus now is literally going full out attack mode. Now, going out full out attack mode on a track like Singapore is not too bad. The only problem is... Ooh! And he's lost it! And Maximus has lost it! And he's put himself in the wall! With a little dink on the exit there, and he's put himself in the wall! So Maximus there is... Now it looks like be staying in P4 then, unless... Or should I say P4? He's now dropped down place into P5, so... Maximus there dropped it on the exit of turn 7. That is not going to do his confidence any good going into the race. Meanwhile though, qualifying has ended, and Els there's got himself up into P2 at the moment. So then, next person, track on for to keep an eye on for potential pole positioning is this man, Squeezy. So, Squeezy then literally just gone over the Anderson Bridge around the hairpin, end up to turn 13. And he's definitely still pushing his Williams as well. Hopefully he does not make the same mistake as Maximus did. Especially coming around through this last section. And oh, he's going a bit sideways there, but kept it under control and still maintained throttle. Squeezed it in, also knowing he's pushing the limits a little bit, but he's still planting his foot down as much as he can. But coming around the last couple of corners then. Where's this going to put Squeezy? Where's this going to put Squeezy in the place? And he's put himself into P3 then. So P3 is the only thing you can do for Squeezy. Meanwhile, Hamilton coming around. And there's a P1 then. He's P1 with 134.6 then. So, and Allen's decided to abort his lap. So, right then. Hamilton then, out of all of that, has put himself up into P1 with a 134.6. A nearly full second clear of the Gort. Wow. What a closing end to qualifying. So then, Hamilton still maintains his performance, especially getting himself on the front row. He'll be joined with the Gort. So the Gort is up there in P2 with him starting off alongside him. Els there with a brilliant debut so far. Put himself up into P3. We've got Squeezing in P4, John alongside him. Alan Kay, good qualified, an amazing qualifying performance so far. Best so far with P5. Maximus there as well, joining alongside him 6th. We've got Siege in 7th, we've got Maze in 8th, Plaster in 9th, Damien in the 10th, SJ Mellon in 11th, and Spaghetti there in P12 as well. But Damien, SJ Mellon and Spaghetti there did not set a lap time. So, what's the top 10 have? So they're going off to the race then in Singapore, and it is still dry. Can't tell if it's clear skies due to the lighting and the floodlights there dominating the night sky wise, so I'm presuming it's clear or potential overcast, but as far as we know the track is dry. Now the drivers then will be planning their strategy very carefully, especially for those on the hypers. They are going to be having a tough time because they'll be ended up looking to be going onto a 2-stop if you start on the hypers. For those that are starting on the ultras or the softs, but completely guarantee they're 1-stop. But anything can happen in Singapore. And it takes a mistake and you'll be having a front wing damage or potentially being DNF. So the drivers, they will be completely full focus, especially what they've got to do tonight. It's pretty much a survival case. But overall though, the formation is underway then. And Hamilton leads away the field then with the Gort then in P2 starting off behind him. Great qualifying there from the Gort. He'll be aiming to give Hamilton a good charge for his money. We're putting a bit of pressure. Elzen in P3. Great debut so far by him. He need to be looking for a good performance here tonight, representing Hamilton as his teammate. So, and we've got Squeezy in P4. He's no stranger towards being in the front. Again, he'll be looking to see what the other 3 cars in front, if they make a mistake or get tangled up with each other. He'll be looking to pick up as much as he can with potential win. Alan Kay there with his best qualifying performance so far, up in P5. Although he's opted to go for the hypers, so he's going a bit aggressive on his strategy. Hopefully that will pay off for him in the long run. He'll be joining behind there with Maximus there as well. A good qualifying for him. Puts himself up into P6. Got Siege then down in P7. Not as probably potentially easy where he likes to be, but he'll be open to make good charge as much as possible, keeping out of trouble. Although he is starting on the set of soft stage, so he'll be looking for a good performance there in terms to give himself a good chance of points later on. So keep an eye on him. Maze is in P8 on set on Ultras. Again, he'll be looking for a good chance of points here tonight. So is the likes of Plaster as well. And Damien there in P10, starting on a set of softs then. So top 10, mostly running Ultras, on exception of Anarchy and Maximus are both on Hypers. Siege and Damien on a set of softs. Obviously SJ Mella and Spaghetti there in the background there. Obviously they didn't set a lap time, but they get free charge of tyres, and they'll be starting. SJ Mella will be starting on softs, and while Spaghetti's there going for Ultras. So then drivers are now coming around the last couple of corners, getting themselves lined up and focusing on the lights, bearing down to turn 1, getting ready for the Singapore Grand Prix. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and the winter break's ended, and lights out, and away we go then. Once it starts, like, they're all going off way so far then. Hamilton, they're still getting a perfect start. They're looking to go down the inside again, keeping all the controls so far. Although we've got Anarchy going off right there, and that looks like Maximus and Anarchy there, and also Siege as well, trying to go around the outside of turn 3. Can he make it stick so far? Siege is still hanging on side by side there with Spaghetti. There's Spaghetti with a great start there, getting himself out of P8. So, and obviously he's still side by side at the back, the front 3, still pulling away as much as he can. Spaghetti and SJ Mella as well getting up there as well. So the guys that start at the back particularly are getting a good start there. Damien being the one that's lost out quite a lot of places there, so obviously got a bad start, but at the moment though, all got away nicely and cleanly. This is what we like to see. Meanwhile though, the Gort is putting heavy pressure already on Hamilton. It's only lap 1. Well, not even completed that lap yet. He's still putting a bit more pressure on him. So front 4 then, I'll keep him very tightly close here. So the Gort there just couldn't find anything past Hamilton yet. Although he's got to be careful. He's got Hamilton's teammate behind him of Ailes as well. And also the likes of Squeezy as well. So the top 4 here pretty much covered, with at least within the windows of 2 seconds there. Oh, and he was starting to cut out a little bit of corners. Don't want to be doing that too much either. The penalties will loom. But at the moment though, Hamilton still leads it with the Gort right behind him. Although they're starting to pull away from Ailes a little bit, so although Ailes is coming under threat of Squeezy. But come around anyway into lap 1 then. Hamilton still leads the way there with the Gort in 2nd, Ailes in 3rd, and Squeezy in 4th there. Although there is a train start to form up behind there in P5 there with Alan K. And also Maximus there. Meanwhile though, there's overtake going on, and Ailes in overtake, which I did miss, but I got the very tail end of it, and that is Spaghetti there, getting himself up into P6 there, passing Maximus there. So Spaghetti there getting a good start, and he's making it work for him so far. He's now got to challenge Alan Kay now, who's the next victim. So meanwhile though, and there's an overtake going on, and that is into turn 6 then, and that was Squeezy there overtaking Ailes there down into turn 6, and he's made that stick. So good job there. Oh, and that's Maximus gone. Where's Maximus gone? Oh, and he's lost it again. He's lost it again in qualifying in that spot, and he's lost it again in the race. So Maximus there having a very torrid time there in Singapore, and pushed his car way too much on its limits, and it's paid in the price. So Maximus there, not a great start from the back of the winter break. DNF already on lap 2. That's very unfortunate for him. The walls of Singapore did loom, and it's loomed even more on him. Meanwhile though, turning the tensions now back to other great battles as well going on as well. We have got Spaghetti on the back of Alan K. It looks like the hypers are starting just to fall off a little bit. It does fall off very quickly around here. Might be the softest compound, but it does give you the great grip as much as possible, but it does fall away very quickly after 1 lap. So Hamilton with a 1:39.5. But at the moment, oh, and Spaghetti there goes off a bit wide on the exit there, but again, keeps under control. DRS is now active, and obviously the top four there pretty much got this up a buffer gap away from that, so with the battle down in P5 though. Spaghetti is in DRS range of Alan. Let's see what happens down the main straight here, or the back straight. DRS is active for Spaghetti. He's going for the move into the kink of first 5 there. Still side by side, heading down towards 10 seconds. He got the move done. Yes, he has. So Spaghetti there. It's up into P5. And oh, he goes off wide there. He goes off wide on the exit, but luckily still maintains P5. So Spaghetti then on a mega charge here. Starting for the back of the grid. He's now not up into P5. He's now challenging the Red Bull of Ailes, who's now in P4. So obviously Ailes is just not getting the groove he wants straight away. Lost out to Squeezy. He's now on the threat of the McLaren of Spaghetti, who's having an absolute brilliant race so far. I would say it's a good race so far from the start. It's only 3 laps in, and he's putting on a mega charge to the front. And he's going for a move now this time. Heading down to turn 13. Can he make it stick? He's going for the outside. Has he made it stick? Yes, he has. Spaghetti then making it stick up into P4 there. So great overtaking there. Great respect between Spaghetti and Nails there. Not to touch or bang wheels whatsoever. And gets it through there nice and cleanly. So Spaghetti now is on the next charge to catch up to P3 or Squeezy. So that will be a good battle to see. Meanwhile though, Alan Kay starting to catch up to the Red Bull of Ailes. The question is though, will his tires allow him to? He's still maintaining good decent pace, and he's got DRS on him. Is he going to go through and move down turn 1? He was thinking about it, but kept hold of it for now. So Alan's just hanging on for at the moment from now to see what he can do. He has got another bite of the cherry on the terms of DRS in a minute. Meanwhile though, we're turning attentions a little bit towards the back as well. We've got 2 battles happening on the battle for P5 and the battle for P7. Obviously you want to be on the ball with SJ Miller boys to see what he goes on. And Alan and Ailes are going for the move. And Alan's going down the outside and got it done. Yes, he has. Alan's got that place back. Meanwhile though, turning attentions back to the SJ Miller and Siege. At the moment, they're still keeping on. Oh, Squeezy! Squeezy has gone and he's lost it into the wall. Oh, Squeezy. He was having a good battle there in P3, pushing it as much as he can, but again, he falls another victim to the walls of Singapore. Put yourself in a ribbon and treat the track kindly, it rewards you. Push its limits, it snaps back at you, and that is Singapore. So, Spaghetti now up into P3 in terms of that, so luckily, surprisingly, no safety cars, and also only down to 10 runners. Everyone's guaranteed a place unless they DNF, which will then they do not claim the points. So it's now pretty much about survival going on at the moment for Singapore. So 4 laps in, 2 retirements. But the drivers are still pushing it as much as they possibly can. They're also still thinking of the strategy and also minding themselves and not to raise the tyre temperatures up as well, and making sure they're not going through the roof there. Going on board, obviously on board shot there. Or Spaghetti there goes a little bit wide on the exit, turn 1 into turn 2. Hopefully he hasn't picked up any more warnings, but still maintaining good control. Meanwhile though, freeway battle there for P5 is gearing up nicely. We got SJ Miller and Siege as well joining the mix, with also Maze in the background there, just watching on from this. With Ailes starting from P3, slipping back a little bit, and maybe a sign of just potentially struggling on potential tire temperatures maybe. I do not know, but SJ Miller though is on the back of Ailes there, going a bit squirmy on the exit there, but keeps it under control. Although it did then his chance for going for a move. Locks up heavily there, but gets away with it. Heading up towards the Anderson Bridge, and Siege is looking on the back of this, watching this, looking for a move, and almost got close up to the back end there. SJ Miller again with the lock up. Don't want to be doing too many flat spots. It will just ruin your grip on the front. And obviously now with reverse SJ Miller and Siege both pushing their cars to the limit, is allowing Maze to catch up very nicely here to watch this battle going on board. So we end up potentially going into a 4-way battle for this as well for P5. Oh, Wells there again, still pushing his car. Don't know if he's got damage at all. When Siege there hits the wall, hope he hasn't got picked up any damage as well in this as well. He doesn't really want to get damage as getting close to this. With all these cars getting very close to each other. SJ Miller, they're getting a good line out of it. It goes off a bit wide and goes side by side with DRS. Can he make the move stick heading down towards 10-1? Siege is going for the move as well. Oh, and he's almost so close there. Again, they're both keeping each other in it. And obviously, Els there hanging for dear life to not let Siege go. He's keeping Siege behind him for now. So obviously, SJ Miller finding the move on the exit there of the last corner. Getting himself down the straight. He's put himself in much of a gap away. Although now Siege and Els have both got DRS. Although Siege look like he's getting a double toe out of this. Can he make the move stick into turn 6 again? Els is hanging around the outside as much as he can. But Siege there just hangs him out and hangs him out for dry and takes P6 off him. So Els there slipping a bit more places back already. He'll be just looking just to get his car to the end. But he's got to be careful now. He's got Maze as well starting to catch up behind. So SJ Miller up into P5, Siege in P6, Els down in P7. And obviously Maze will be catching up to Els very soon. Again, great aerial shot from over the Anderton Bridge. Lovely view. More aerial shots please, Code Modders. It will be amazing if I get more aerial shots. But still happy with all the shots around the track as well, so can't fault it. So Siege will be now trying to see where he can pick off SJ Miller and try to see where's the weakness without exposing his weakness. Meanwhile there's the other flag. Oh, and that's the Gort! Where's the Gort? Oh, the Gort's lost it in the last corner! Oh, the Gort was doing so well at the front. He was aiming to getting a good chance here, potential good chance for a podium here, and he's now literally put himself in the wall. So another victim to the walls of Singapore then is the Gort. So Gort, Squeezy and Maximus claiming by the wall of Singapore. So then down to 9 runners then. We are down to 9 runners. They'll be literally pushing, well, not pushing over the top as much as possible, not to hit the wall, but at the same time aiming for good chance of points here. And SJ Miller and Siege are both getting very close to each other here. Where is Siege going to make the move on SJ Miller? At the moment, it's just holding station here. If they're both carrying on with pace here, they might be catching up for Alan, who's pretty much running in the top 3 there for Alan. So he's doing well here with 6 laps hypers. You know, he's probably expecting to be dropping off here. Oh, and Siege there is looking for a potential move there. Get SJ Miller on the exit, but SJ there just getting away as much as possible can. Meanwhile though, Mace has made the move on Els. So Mace is now up into P6, Els is down into P7. Oh, that was the wall. Who's hit the wall? Oh, it's Els. He's hit the wall on the exit. I did thought I heard a crunch. And he's now lost the ring, so at least he can go and get, obviously change the front wing, but not probably doing his confidence any good whatsoever though. Hitting the wall, and he's hit the wall again. Hopefully not to lose your tyre at least. Meanwhile though, Alan Kay has come into the pits, hence why a little change of position there for the top, for P3 there. So Alan then being the first person into the pits then. Pits on a set of soft tyres in, so he'll be aiming to hopefully get into the end at least, or get into a certain point in the race, unless there's a safety car. Els there coming into the pits, and he picks himself a 5-second stop go penalty there. Not always ideal, and he's just retired the car instead, so that is unfortunate there for Els. He could have carried on there, but unfortunately opted to retire the car instead. So we're now down to 8 runners in. The battle for P3 at the moment between SJ Miller and Siege. Still very close to each other. Both haven't been really apart from each other, so this time though, Siege is looking more closer than ever. Oh, and he's hit the wall. He's hit the back of not hit the wall. He's hit the back of SJ there. Now hoping he hasn't damaged the front wing out of this. Otherwise, he's going to suffer quite badly throughout the stint he's on at the moment, at least. But at the moment, still holding on there. So if Siege, they literally did not pick up any damage. He is a very lucky man. But he's definitely pushing his Mercedes to its bare limits. But still, SJ though, just keep him cool. Keep him under control. No one in front of him, although he has got Siege behind. And obviously he'll be looking for a chance to fully charge as much as possible. Meanwhile though, Siege is into the pits. Yep, I thought it might be front wing damage. So that is not going to do his confidence any good. So he's going to be set back a little bit. But obviously with this slow pit lane of Singapore, you can still get him back in time as much as possible. So that'll be Siege then pretty much converted to a 2-stop. He'll be praying for a safety car for a good result. To get himself back up there again. But at the moment then we're going through the running order at least as is quieting down here a bit. We've got Hamilton then in P1 then with a 13-second gap to Spaghetti in P2. SJ Mellon then P3. Great start from SJ so far. Obviously you can see Spaghetti and SJ Mellon then starting from the back. And obviously you got Mazer in P4, Plaster in P5, Alan K in P6. So you just made a move there on Damon, who's now in P7. And then obviously we have got Siege in the back there in P8. So that is your current runners at the moment then. Obviously Hamilton has got a bit of a gap onto Spaghetti there, so his pit stop win should not be too compromised. Unless the safety car comes out the wrong time he went past the pit lane. And Spaghetti gets a free pit stop. But we'll keep an eye on that as much as possible if it does happen. But Alan K though, looks like he's absolutely flying there. Might have already made a pit stop, although Hamilton's just picked up a penalty then, that's not going to do him any good. So, team orders potentially coming up for Ferrari then. Obviously, Plaster's in Vettel's seat and Alan K's in Raikkonen, so we'll see what happens. I'm presuming they'll probably help each other on not to mess around in terms of getting points for each other. Or unless they want to do free for race, and there'll be another incitement for battles to see. But I don't know, on the fresh set of softs, he's definitely making it work there. And obviously the both Ferraris are going to avoid the different parts of the last two corners. So with the battle of the Ferraris, where will Alan find the move? Oh, and he's at the wall! Oh, and Alan K's at the wall! And he's only just made a pit stop and he's damaged his wing, and that's going to compromise his strategy there completely. Now that is unfortunate there for Alan. He was looking to size up a move as well on his teammate or potential lineup in down to the main straight, and lost control on the back end, and that is going to dent his confidence as well. So he's now got to limp home that broken front ring for a whole lap, and that is going to hurt him big time for terms of time. And also for confidence into the race, well, for next, the rest of the race at least. Well, that is so very unfortunate for Alan. I do feel for him, obviously, for that to happen. It's easy done to lose the back end, especially on a track like Singapore, to hit the wall and then just to find out you damage your wing after making a pit stop is literally just heart-sinking moment. Meanwhile, though, Shea Miller still hanging on into P3. He's got a sizable gap to Mays behind him. Obviously starting on the hardest of the compounds going. Potentially see SJ maybe coming into the pits, maybe lap 20 I say at least. Although the softs can last for a much more longer terms of the LAM on the tyre life, so see how long SJ can hang on, but so far still looking good shape there, although the back end started to come out a little bit more as the tyre starts to wear in just a bit. Meanwhile though, we have got Mays into the pits. Mays one and only potential stop. Go for a set of softs, hopefully to get him to the end. Should be doable. But he will feed in into P5 there with no problems whatsoever. Obviously the next car on the road for him will be Plaster, who's yet to make a pit stop, so obviously the top four have also yet to make a pit stop, though there should be no problems of any risk of people from P5 downwards potentially taking a spot. Meanwhile though, Alan Kay comes in, changes front wing, comes out on a set of ultras, though he'll be now looking to push as much as he can. Where is Siege though? Siege is coming down 10 to turn 1, so Alan has got himself out in front of Siege though. He's now got literally catch up as much as he can though. Meanwhile though, race leader comes in, Hamilton is in the pit lane and he puts himself a set of softs that should get him to the end. Also, Spaghetti there follows suit. Meanwhile though, SJ Miller though, coming down the main pit straight, and SJ Miller takes the lead of the race. So SJ Miller yet to make a pit stop. Is looking for a very good cause here to get a podium. Well, good sight for C to see if SJ can get a podium here. Oh, he won't be doing that if your back end keeps going though, but still pushing as much as possible. So Hamilton looks like he's got an overtake to do to get past SJ Miller, although he has got a new fresher set of softs, 11 laps difference, so he should be able to make the grip up as much as possible. Spaghetti though is on P3 as well, also made a pit stop. Meanwhile though, the Fry boys are in this time for service for Plaster then. So Plaster then goes set of softs then. Over to get him up to the end. Question is, where is David? David's coming around the last couple of corners. So Plaster should be, in theory, get out of head of Damien. But it's going to be close though. It is going to be close. Damien's coming around the corner, and that's Plaster. That's Damien's jumped Plaster. So Damien has jumped Plaster. So that's not what Plaster wanted. Plaster probably was thinking to jump Damien or get out in front of Damien, but now Plaster's got work to do to catch up to Damien and overtake him as much as he possibly can. Although his tyres will be more warmed up and ready for it. Well, Damon's tyres are all warmed up, but Plaster will just have to warm up a little bit more. Meanwhile though, Siege does set the fastest lap time then. So, we'll track down to find out the fastest lap time. Why? So we'll find out for you. And Siege's fastest lap time is a 1:39.1 then. So, he might be starting in the black though, but he is catching up to Alan though. Meanwhile though, the battle for the front is starting to hot up a little bit here. Obviously Hamilton is net P1, obviously SJ Miller has not made a pit stop, but this doesn't stop SJ Miller though, holding the ground as much as possible. Hamilton now going for the move down in turn 6. Has SJ seen him? Oh, side by side there. SJ still hangs around the outside there, which will get the inside line for turn 7. Hamilton will just have to work hard to get past SJ Miller. Obviously just got to hang on now for a few more corners, because not going to get done in time by the Singapore sling. For SJ though, still hanging on for dear life, even though Hamilton is behind him and bearing down, not whatsoever, trying to find a gap as much as possible. Hamilton taking a very wide line here, trying to get a good exit here. See what he can do. He can line up and move to go down the inside turn 13. He's hopping to go on down the inside, not going to lunge down into there. Thought about it, but not risking himself for it. Although SJ is still pushing. He's pushing as much as he possibly can, trying to keep Hamilton behind. Obviously going around this section here, it is very tight and squeamish. The tyres will be crying at the point, but SJ starting to struggle a little bit here. Meanwhile got a yellow flag, and that is Siege. What has happened to Siege? What has happened to Siege? And he's lost it down to DRS straight here. So that's not good there for Siege. That is not good at all. Not red straight for him. Meanwhile though, Hamilton does get the move there on SJ. And SJ just has to concede that Hamilton's place there. So Hamilton in P1, SJ down in P2, coming up to the yellow flag. So where's Siege there has literally lost control of his car. And obviously the good thing the ghosted has happened there. We don't want any more drivers going into back there. Meanwhile though, Plaster and Damien. Plaster does get the move on Damien then. So Plaster up into P5, Damien down into P6. Though Damien probably will not give up though. He's still trying to challenge Plaster as much as he can. But looking at it, Plaster is starting to pull away quickly here from Damien. But no, that is unfortunate for Siege. Get claimed by the wall. The 5th victim as well to get caught by the wall. So now obviously the drivers now will be looking for the best positions they can finish. It's obviously a section of Hamilton. He keeps and maintains so far P1 unless anything else happens. Commentator's curse here. But at the moment though, despite being in P2 at the moment, still keeping a relatively good gap to SJ Miller of Hamilton is. Obviously 2 seconds is difference, although side life wise there's 11 laps difference between the two. So SJ will probably just keep in control, just managing the tyres as much as you can possibly can. If he does make a pit stop now, looking at it, probably turns to be out in P4, P5, but be much more fresher grip tyres and able to push. So, and hopefully going on a set of ultras to play a safe bet getting to the end. That's what I would do if I was in that seat and I had the soft tyres and not hit the wall. I'll just literally nurse it and get to the end on the set of ultras. You'd be more aggressive and guaranteed to get to the end of the race. So at the moment there is not really a case of much battles going on. It's a little bit of a low before the storm, but the good thing is safety car has not been out at all. So, which I'm actually quite surprised with the amount of drivers hitting the wall, and especially in certain places, thinking okay, there might be a safety car, but all just holding our own, just keeping the cars in checked and trying to keep away from those ever looming closing in walls. But just watching SJ now, just going through the last bit, couple of corners there again, still maintaining good car control. But meanwhile though, we have got an overtake going on, and that is Alan Kay going up past Damien there. So Alan Kay there dispatches Damien, then gets himself out to P6. His teammate is the next car up the road in P5. So, oh, and Hamilton's left the session. Hamilton has left the session. Oh, that is unfortunate for Hamilton. I hope he can get back in very quickly. Otherwise, his lead will be under threat by the cars behind him. And obviously, SJ there will be thinking, there's a ghost car of a Red Bull there. Maybe get P1 back. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Hamilton will get back here. He will need to get back ASAP. Because you can't finish the race as a ghost. So, as it's all quite looming down, I'll just go reading through the comments. See what is all going on the action board there. So, what we got going on? So, what we got going on? There was a Jim Racing there. What happened to the guy that was in second? John about the go. He had lost it into the wall on the last corner, so that was unfortunate for him. Meanwhile though, SJ Miller does take the lead back from the ghosted Hamilton. Hoping he can get back very soon. Obviously Hamilton did claim that Ferraris did have the DRS faults during the flying laps in quali. Obviously Els as well saying no DRS. And also saying that OP, Wills is OP. Okay, obviously C3, what happened with Squeezy? Like everyone else, hit the wall. Obviously Squeezy Lemon confirmed that he lost his wings 2 corners before then ran wide and lost his wheel. So that is some very fortunate there. So, and a thumbs up there for 20-year-old for gaming. Let's play. Well, so I was too old for gaming. Okay, got ya. So, these are getting some comments there so far. We'll keep an eye on that later on. So, obviously with Hamilton being disconnected when Wooly come back, and there is a yellow flag in sector 1 which kindly disappeared. No, it's reappeared and it's still coming back and going again. So who has lost time in placing gaps? Obviously they're still going. Maze is still going fast and no. But meanwhile though, the Ferrari boys are starting to close in on each other once again. Hopefully this time Alan will keep his car completely in check. But see what will happen here. Was there going to be any team orders, or is there going to be a full out scrap? Hopefully for a full out scrap. We'd like to see a good Ferrari battle here. So Plasterton is starting to come under threat by his teammate. And Alan there with the DRS. Plasterton will know he's got DRS. He'll be opting to push his Ferrari as much as he possibly can. Alan looking for the move. He's going down the inside. Plus they're not really making it a challenge on him. Although Alan goes off wide. He's going squeamish there. And obviously Plaster they're coming back on the outside there for turn 7. But opted not to take the corner. Although he were at the inside of it. Oh, Plaster was going to go for it, but opted not to. Probably try and save the bet of not having two teammates collide. We don't want the Red Bull incident of 2010 in Istanbul moment. So around the moment then, Alan there switches places with Plaster then, so Alan in P5, Plaster in P6. So the both boys will be pursuing to aim to get a good amount of results as much as possible. Meanwhile though, May's there having a bit of a quiet race so far, but has made up good position there despite all his efforts going on around him. And like I said at the start, he is using his wheel, not the pad. He used to race on the pad, got himself a reel and practice a lot to try and get himself up onto literally pacing as much as he can. He is getting there, and kudos for him to take up the challenge of taking the wheel. And so far he is running in P4, so good job there for the main league owner there. So meanwhile though, SJ Miller still up there, 17 lap old softs, and still pushing his Williams to potential good amount of glory points here. So we'll see what happened there. C3 though, you're saying how many will finish? 4? Not at the moment. I'll probably say what we got there, we'll probably end up finishing. Maybe, potentially, maybe 1 or 2, maybe like 1 or 2 possibly retirements, but I'm hoping to rate no more retirements. I don't really want any more. So at the moment, everyone there is holding station and surviving as much as they possibly can. It is lap 19. SJ Miller, not exactly where you expected to be up there, but at the moment taking full advantage and pledge of it. Although Hamilton is back and he is back on a charge. So despite that desync there, Hamilton has got himself back in there, and now he's got to do the work all over again to overtake the Williams of SJ. So good job for Hamilton there, just to get back in quickly as he can. But Spaghetti there is only 10 seconds behind Hamilton, but maintaining good distance and pace to try and catch up as much as he possibly can. So Hamilton then is on a full charge here. He's got to get back control and get in front of that Williams, unless SJ decides to pull into the pits within the next couple of laps, maybe. We shall see. But at the moment, the hard work begins of overtaking the Williams. He's done it before, he knows where the place to do it, but SJ will know that his tyres are completely different in terms of life to Hamilton. And SJ decides to go into the pits anyway, so race leader is coming in. Again, very crucial not to get a speeding penalty, and gets in nicely fine there. So SJ Miller into the pits. What we can see, going for a set of ultras we're going for? Yes it is, it'll be a set of ultras there, and that is Spaghetti there going down passing SJ Miller there. Obviously SJ Miller should be coming out nicely comfortably in P3. Maze is a little bit too far back to challenge, but he is on a set of ultras, so keep an eye on SJ Mello. He's only about 16-17 seconds behind Spaghetti, so might see SJ Mello up there into P2, or even if he gets quickly catch up to Spaghetti, might have a charge of Hamilton, but that is a big ask. That is a big ask for SJ, but potential P2 is on the cards for him, at least, to be on a safe bet. Damien then, at the back of the pack there, in P7, looking for a good chance of points here. Again, having quite a race. He's having a bit of a quiet race, but kept himself out of the walls, and he's pushing as much as he can to get a good decent amount of points here. Same with Spaghetti. Starting from the back of the grid to get yourself up into P2 there. That is a good impressive drive so far. Only about 12 seconds behind Hamilton though. Although the lap difference is only 1 on their tyres between the two on the same compound, so still, if Hamilton makes a mistake somewhere, or a costly mistake, you know, might be out of a potential chance for a win. But just to have to maintain at the moment in P2, probably happy to take home P2 on that one from start to the back. That was a great impressive drive. Alan Kay then trying to chase down Mays as much as he can, although he has got about 10 laps left remaining to make up the deficit of 17.5 seconds. So Alan has still got work to do. He'll be praying for Mays' tyres to drop off, although he probably may have to make another pit stop. Obviously because of his front wing change when he came onto the set of softs, but he's looking to eke it out as much as he can. Yes, there is life with vultures. They can last more longer than the hypers, much more longer, but the question is till when. Although he did tell me a story the other day when it was in the TTL, when he was racing around Hungary or something, that he eked out the middle compound tyre for at least 27 laps. So he is probably maybe trying to attempt to do that again, but he has got pace in the car. He has taken out a good chunk of time now, and Mays about half a second, so just needs to find the rate a bit more higher, of literally like a second to 2 seconds, as much as he can, to catch up to Mays. SJ Melo starting to pump in the laps, starting to try and close down the gap on Spaghetti. Last time I did look, he was a fair bit behind, but since then he has cut down at least 2 seconds more, so he is finding the pace out there now. He's only got about 10 laps remaining to get himself up there as much as possible to take at least P2, but maybe just probably settle for P3. And that's the only problem, especially if you're that high up in the front and you're starting from the back. Like, you're going for ambition targets, like, oh, okay, I've got podium, I'll go for the next slot up. It's alright going for the next slot up if you can do it, but again, pushing yourself too much, you can expect to literally bite you back. Well, the track will bite you back if you push yourself too much, especially on a track like Singapore where you want complete 100% focus, because each lap you're going around, you might be thinking you're hitting the same lines. You're probably like at least a mile or two off where your normal marks were originally first time round. And also your reference points, you know where your reference points is, but you don't always hit your reference points straight away. So like one corner you'd be fine, like going through perfect, next corner not so much. And that is normal, and the price you pay for not hitting your mark so much and hitting the wall is potentially DNF in your car. So at the moment, and that is Damien though, just been lapped there. Yes it is, that is Damien there being lapped, but he's still maintains P7, he's still getting the points there. So Damien there being the first one being lapped so far. He is about 50 seconds behind Plaster there, but he can still go for fastest laps. So nothing wrong going for that. If you're a lap down, save fuel, go for a blitz lap, go for it as a qualifying run. Meanwhile, Plaster there, looking for some good decent amount of points here today. The Ferraris will be loving the points at the moment, on course for at least 18 points total between the two. So great job so far for the Ferrari boys. You never know, anything can happen in front and they might claim a little bit more. But at the moment I think Alan's just trying to push as much as he can though, try and bridge the gap on Plaster, but Plaster's still pumping in his lap times, keeping the gap reasonable. But SJ Miller though, SJ Miller is definitely on a charge and he's definitely trying to catch up to Spaghetti as much as he possibly can. Although different change of compounds between the two. Obviously Spaghetti on the softs and SJ is on the ultras. This is a both styling drive for Spaghetti and SJ then. Start from the back. But as like we know, like at the moment Hamilton's still hanging on at front, but he has had his little issues in terms of internet connections. So still keeping on board as much as possibly can. At the moment, terms wise, is obviously no comments so far as the last time I looked. So everyone there's just watching there, gearing in, seeing what will happen next. But if it came to driver of the day today, it is a tough call between Spaghetti and SJ. Out of my books anyway. But leave your comments, who do you think is your driver of the day? You still got plenty of time to put it in the comments as much as you can, so getting Alan there, still keeping himself going there, having a good decent race until the mistake around this corner when he made his first pit stop and obviously damaged his wing. He obviously will be absolutely livid on that because he was looking for a good potential for a podium, but now he's obviously got the hard work to do. He'll just be looking for a recovery drive to see where he can get as much points as he possibly can now. Still, anything can still happen. Still got about at least 7 laps left to go. But no, race leader though, Hamilton, keeping himself up front, not really had any threats much behind, although hasn't been exactly gone his way particularly. He had internet issues for at least a couple of laps, but got himself back in. He had to overtake the Williams of SJ. Yeah, nearly to overtake him twice, but obviously SJ went into the pits. Yeah, it's got gap to Spaghetti about nearly 20 seconds worth, so he'll be just looking to cruise and just bring it home. But again, that's also another worst factor as well. If you cruise home thinking you got in the bag, one mistake you can still make an error on the cruise and the walls are there for you, especially on a track like this. It's so easy just to compose yourself and relax yourself, but then to relax and then to recompose is a tall order. But SJ Miller though, watching his pace going so far, he's definitely closing the gap here to Spaghetti. Spaghetti's only just literally a couple of corners away. Where's Spaghetti? Spaghetti's coming around towards the bridge part of the grandstands. So that is where Spaghetti is, and obviously SJ's now just coming into that section now. So getting very close there to that wall there. SJ, you want to be very careful. You are pushing, but you're pushed a little bit too much. And again, the back end there just wants to scream a little bit. tyres are still being good nick, and they're all being good nick now. Obviously there's Spaghetti though, just going around the first corner there. So starting to see that rear end of the McLaren coming into play. Although got about at least 6 laps worth left to do it, so he wants to keep going. He wants to do it at the rate of literally 1.5 seconds a lap. You're going to make a difference on. It is doable around obviously Singapore, because obviously it's a mixture of tight turns and literally nailing every single entry, exit, braking point, acceleration and car positioning. You'll be able to be flying, but it's all down to your grip and tyre wear and your fuel. And of course, so with the 2018 specs, you also got your ERS, like energy, useful powerness as well, to join in with that force. So SJ will now literally pushing as much as he can. Meanwhile though, Mays is still pushing along, might be in P4, still good amount of points there for the Renaults, lying in 4th and 7th at the moment. So obviously again they're looking at Ferraris at roughly the same amount of points as Ferraris. So as it stands at the moment, the Renaults and Ferraris will be taking 18 points each respectively. So pretty much the two teams there, they've still got their teammates going as well. So I don't know, it's starting to close in a little bit, but I think it's just probably new that Mays is just a little bit too far away from the window and pace to do so. So he'll be just looking now just to eke it home as much as he possibly can. Probably knowing that his tyres will probably start to scream in terms of grip wise, not so much in temps, but obviously the cars will be lighter, so shouldn't take too much brunt on terms of tyres. But again, he'd just be looking just to take P5. Maybe not what he was eyeing for today. Oh, getting very close to that border, Alan. But he would have been looking for a potential podium candidate. But fortunately, due to that mistake he had at turn 3 whilst chasing down past the first time round, maybe just, if he didn't have that, maybe on the podium. But he'll be still taking P5 though, so that is still a good drive as well, taking P5. SJ Miller though, knowing that will be coming around after the end of this lap. You only got about roughly 4 laps to catch up. Spaghetti there, plus they're picking up 3-second penalty. But SJ now just literally just 5 seconds away off Spaghetti. He'll be getting very, very close here to the McLaren driver, but here's a big ass. And there is Spaghetti there, just at the end of the shot, just going around turn 1 now. So 4 laps left. I may be seeing the last duel of the battles in terms of podiums coming up. Time will tell. But obviously the lap times being a bit longer, we could potentially see everything going on, maybe a battle between them two. Meanwhile though, Damien is into the pits again, and this time he's going for a set of hypers. So are we going to see Damien potentially doing the Alonso, knowing that he's a lap down, and aiming to take potential fastest lap candidate award? Because at the moment, fastest lap holder is indeed Siege with a 139.1. So obviously with the cars now lighter on fuel, are we going to see Damien B potentially taking fastest lap award? That'd be good. Someone good going there, see what he can do. So we will keep an eye on Damien then, and I think he is just going to come up to be lapped by his teammate. He's just not far up the road, but maybe Mays will just probably just let Damien go, maybe thinking he just came into a pit stop. But we'll watch Damien in a minute, see what we can do on the lap time. We'll probably even go on board with him and see what we can do. But no, SJ Miller though lost a little bit of time on this lap here. Maybe starting to get to the terms of the factors tire wear is starting to creep in a little bit. That's been purchasing those ultras for quite a bit. Looking for a potential to go for a battle for P2, but I think it just might be just a little bit out of its grasp now. But then again, it depends on Spaghetti though. If Spaghetti makes a mistake, then obviously it will just open up for him. But at the moment, no sign of that so far. Meanwhile, where's Damon? There he is. We're going on board with Damon now. While he picks up 3-second penalty then. See what the Renault driver can do. Puts everything up into full. Coming around 10-1, 10-2, 10-3. Looking very tentative here, but again, he is definitely pushing as much as he can. Coming around 10-4, where's he going? Going full out, full beans here. So this is one potential shot, especially on his lap, because after one lap on hypers, they do drop off. So this is an all or nothing here for Damien. See if you can get it, puts up at least up on the fastest lap boards. Hamilton meanwhile starts lap 30 then. Damien there is starting to push on a little bit. He is running out a little bit on his terms of battery here, so he's definitely been burning it up here. So this might cost him power or extra amount of power he wanted to do his lap, but at the moment no. Damien is doing all that he can do. And we'll switch on to the fastest lap timing wise for just for a couple of minutes at least, see what fastest lap time Damien can do. His fastest lap time originally is a 1:41.4, but obviously on his fastest set of hypers, will he be able to get close to Siege? It's like Hamilton is the next fastest driver in line with 1:39.2. Here we go though. Damien then coming round the last couple of corners. What is it going to be? It's a 1:40.6 there for Damien, so unable to take the fastest lap of all the way today. But at the moment now, Alan is still pushing to try and catch up to Maze. Getting a little bit too late. And I'll see SJ Miller as well, also trying to catch up to Spaghetti. And also I think his tyres are just starting to scream just a little bit. Meanwhile though, Hamilton is starting his final lap then, so we'll be jumping back on board with him shortly. While he goes through over the line. Meanwhile, hitting the wrong part. SJ Miller then still trying to push as much as possible. See if his Spaghetti there makes a mistake at the moment. It is not looking like it whatsoever. So just to apologise for a minute as I admit the sound. Meanwhile, just to apologise for the noise in the background. And at the moment, Hamilton is on course to take victory. And he's going round over the Anderson's bridge.
No, not happening.
Meanwhile, Hamilton is coming round in turn 13. And there we go, 10, 14, 10, 15. Hamilton then coming over to take the victory. Yeah, and obviously not had everything mostly his way, but he has came to P1, had connection issues. And there he is, showboating, weaving down the straight. Knowing he's got P1, and he's going to do a cheeky donut, is he? See how much time he can waste. You don't want to be doing that too much, Hamilton. Spaghetti is not far away. It might be 24 seconds, but you'll be clunking down the time. Meanwhile, though, Hamilton there takes over the line and takes P1. Meanwhile, though, Spaghetti then next man to come over the line, taking P2. Great start from the back of the grid, and has made it work as well. So he takes P2 then. SJ Miller then takes P3. A great sterling drive from Spaghetti and SJ Miller then, both getting up on the podiums from starting at the back. So great drives by them. Mays will be the next one across the line, nearly a minute away. So he is being pursued by Alan though, but I think that'd be a case of just a little bit too far away. Obviously Plaster there comes over the line in P6, being a lap down, and also Damien will be coming over the line as well in P7. So obviously Mays and Alan Kay will be on leading laps. So then Damien there comes over the line in P7, a lap down. Mays comes out of the last corner now, and he takes P4 then. So Alan Kay will then take P5, but your race winner though is indeed Hamilton, and the sterling drive there from Hamilton. So great sterling drive then from other drivers then, all who survived. So then SJ Miller, a great sterling performance into P3, and obviously we've got Spaghetti in P2, but your race winner then is Hamilton then in P1. It's a great sterling drive then from them three, and also sterling drive from everybody else who's taken part as well. So great drive there from everybody.
Read it. No, you need to read it now.
So then, going through all the standards early on, officials or the official results then, we have got Hamilton at in P1, Spaghetti in P2, got SJ Miller in P3, got Mays in P4, got Alan K P5, Plaster in P6, Damien B in P7, running up the runners there. Obviously the ones who did not classify or not finish the race is Siege, Els, Got, Squeezy, and Maximus. Obviously Siege, El and Got unfortunately will not claim their points due to being DNF'd. So my driver of the day then, who can I give it to? It is a tie, like I said earlier, it is a tie between Spaghetti and SJ Miller, and I will give it to Squeezy in terms of not Squeezy, I'll give it to in terms of Spaghetti of making their performance gains on there. So then just getting it all lined up ready then for see who I can get in for the interviews then. But yeah, you can feel free to put anything in the comments in terms of anyone in for driver of the day. Let's see who else I can get for interviews. Right, obviously just keep an eye out now, see who I can get in, see which drivers will come in. Hopefully it shouldn't be too long before I get a driver in at least. Meanwhile though, we'll check quickly the comments to see what's going on. At the moment, nothing in the comments so far. And obviously I haven't got no drivers turning up who I sent out invites to, see if they can get any interviews. Hey, we've got someone in for an interview, and it is the race winner. Oh, I'll say it was a race winner who comes to join for interviews. He's now left. Maze, you say nines, my friend. Gotta help with the nines. So, wow, the race lead, they decided to put nines in the comments there. Well, hey, now here we go. We got Hamilton back in the lobby. Hamilton, how are you? Okay, maybe not then. I don't know if Hamilton's having issues with his connection. We'll try see if he can try coming again.
Hello.
Hello, you're in this time, Hamilton?
Hello, buddy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to you, buddy. How you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. You?
Yeah, not too bad. It's great to be back. Great to be back.
Yeah.
So then, was your pole position there? You got yourself in pole position after the Christmas break there. Great momentum for you.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure to hit the floor running, as we say. The ball was amazing, you know. I think someone crashed. It could have been like 1-2 times better. Someone crashed in the second sector. I had to avoid him, but what a ball! It was a great lap.
Yeah, the person that crashed in within the second sector, especially at the start, was Maximus, and he did hit the same spot again in the race as well. But despite that, though, despite taking avoiding action, just in case he wasn't ghosted, he still got himself on P1 on the pole position. And also in the race as well, you had a good, decent stuff. Start, it was around the race. He did have a Gort behind you as well, chasing you down.
Yeah, at the start, the Gort was maintaining the pace. I think the first couple, 3 laps, he was close behind me. Then, unfortunately, I don't know if he crashed. And then Squeezy also crashed, and Siege. So unfortunate. And yeah, I had to make sure to bring the car home in one piece to keep concentration, because it's easy to lose concentration when you know, all alone at the front. But yeah, for the championship, I think it's good. Yeah, unfortunately Spike also didn't show up, but yeah, I had to do the job.
Indeed, he's still maintaining gap at the moment as well. You did obviously had to make overtake after you made the pit stop with SJ Meda there starting from the back. Obviously jumped to you as you were coming out of the pits, and obviously literally not making it life easy to overtake. You know, which is good to see. Good battle there from fresh set tyres versus well warmed up used set. And then obviously you had your issues with your connection. Did it dropped out with disconnected or?
Yeah. The first when I went out of the pit, I was behind Smella, the Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on a used soft. I knew that the battle was with Spaghetti, and I had good decent seconds, so I didn't want to risk too much with Smella because he was a pit stop behind. And to be honest, he didn't fight too much. He always left the door open. And then, I had the connection trouble, but thank God I had a few seconds to spare.
Yeah, you were lucky there with the connections. Get back in reasonable, not losing too much ground.
Yeah.
But still, though, you still take P1. Well, one of the 7 runners to take points as well. We had about five retirements there, which is unfortunate there. But going off to the next race then, which will be in Russia.
Yeah, Russia, to be honest, I didn't done a race there or done proper practice or run. But it's a good track. I don't know how it will go this year.
Is it one of your weak?
I will do my best.
Sorry, carry on, Evan.
Yeah.
So, so you're saying that Russia is not one of your strong tracks?
No, not necessarily not my strong track. I don't know yet how's my pace there. Let's see. I will try my best, and yeah, I have good points right now. I really want this championship, and I want to be part of the history of TTG Esports, which is coming back pretty strong, you know. So I want to make sure my name is there. So I will try my best.
Indeed. So, with your position probably aiming for next race, no, probably would be no surprise. It would be a P1. Would it be any chance?
Yeah, you know, the last 3 races I've been on pole. I think I had connection issue last lap in Belgium. Then in Monza I lost due to penalties.
Yeah.
Exactly one warning. So yeah, even though it was a dull race, but it was still a victory. I tried to make it exciting at the end.
Yeah, I did. So you tried to do the donuts. I was just thinking,
Yeah,
you're putting yourself a limit on the timing wise, or the gap wise.
yeah, yeah. He was. I thought, okay, Steph might be lonely this night, and it's not usually in TTFL. It had one of the most amazing races ever. We start the league. Every race was so exciting, so close. So I thought I want to do something for Steph.
I did catch it on the stream, my friend. I did catch on the stream,
Yeah.
so you can watch back your donut.
Yeah, when I finished straight away, I went back to the stream to see if you catch it.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah.
It's on there. Oh, good job, Harrison. Cheers to the donut. And then we'll catch you out in Russia.
Okay, see you later, guys. Good night.
Good
Happy New
night.
Year to all.
Indeed, Happy New Year to you, my friends.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So then, the next driver to be interviewed will be Alan. Alan, how are you?
Evening stuff.
How is your qualifying? What was your best qualifying performance so far?
Yeah, it was a good quality. It was well. I suppose I helped the lads didn't really go to the late as well, and someone just then messed up the laps. But good quality, good start to the race. I just got ahead of SJ and Spag around lap 5, and they were struggling because they were struggling around the hypers. And I'm on sorry, SJ and I was behind me. Spag was struggling around the hypers, and I got by him at lap 5, so I got me hypers still lap 7 and come back out. I got by Damien quick enough, just catching up on plaster and just come up to turn 2 in the dirty air of plaster, and as I put the foot down, I was now from down grip and the back end just came around and into the wall. So
Yeah, it did on the stream, like you obviously were catching up to Plaster first time round, so come round like 10-1, 10-2. He was like, okay, like catching up in good pace, and then obviously like 10-3. Was it just a case of dirty air and warm, not gripping the
dirty
tyres?
air, just lost the front end.
Oh, that's just unfortunate. Because you were looking for a chance as well to be like on podium.
That's a drop podium. That's a drop podium to me. That way, so.
But still, though, despite that, though, you did extend your tyres, especially on the ultras, to about 20 lap stints.
20 laps, yeah.
That is good going. That is really good going. And obviously claiming home, obviously good amount of points there, for, not just for yourself, obviously for with Plaster as well.
First and 6, so. That's a good half of the team. Obviously a few drivers missing, so made it a little bit easier, but no, nonetheless, it's a good drive and fair play to everyone who finished.
But no, still claiming good points there for yourself, though. You made it recovery work. Obviously heading off to Russia next time round. How do you think you rate your chances on that?
Hopefully points again. Russia isn't a track like it's running a run of tracks right now. Russia, Japan, America, Mexico, Brazil. So the only one I don't really, now to the end of the season, the one I'm not really fond of is Abu Dhabi final race of the season. So other than that, I'll be targeting points in the races. I like all the tracks left to go now. This is my favourite end of the season. So.
Good stuff. So, where are you looking to aim for in Russia?
Depends if some of the faster lads like Lambo and Power are reserving or not. But maybe say around the same as where I finished today. Fifth would be nice again. 5th, 6th.
We'll see what we can do for you in Russia. See how many people turn up. And also see what happens as well. So, again, good drive on there. I still felt sorry for you though when you did lost your front wing on exit 10-3. I was just like saying on the stream, like it is very like easy to like to drop a back end if you're behind the car behind, and obviously you're looking in my
People
eyes,
don't realise that because it's on a game, there's no dirty air, but the dirty air that the cars feel, that you see cars and the hair drivers complain about in real life actually is programmed into the game. So although we might not feel it as much as what they do in real life and they're complaining about in real life, we still deal with the effect of it.
we'll see what will happen there with their friends. Again, we'll wait to see what happens in Russia for you.
Right, no bother, Steph.
No worries, but good job. So take care, and we'll see you in Russia.
Chat to you then.
Chat to you then. So then, next race we were going for is next Friday, 8 PM. We'll be live in Russia. So I hope you can join us there for that for next Friday. Obviously on Sunday we will be racing in Canada and French Grand Prix. Obviously Canadian Grand Prix will be at 8 PM along with the French Grand Prix at 8:45. So I hope you can join us there on Sunday as well. And obviously for Tuesday we'll be live in Austria. You'll be joined with Kieran himself in the comment box, and then obviously on Thursday it'll be Kieran and Andy joined up for the British Grand Prix. So I hope you can join us there and around 8 PM.
Also, Steph, just to give a shout out
Sure.
to next Wednesday, round 2 of the Esports Mini League, containing TTG, VSR, GP1, TUF, and IRL. 8 o'clock again on Wednesday. Kieran and Andy in the commentary box, and I'll be keeping live chat or live scores in the chat again. Join us again at the same place.
Is that believed to be 8 PM and 25% races, if I remember correctly, Al?
Yeah, it's 3 25% races each race day. So we've had rounds 1, 2, and 3 Wednesday gone, and rounds 4, 5, and 6 are this Wednesday.
Nicely done. What's the track selections for them 3 races?
Just give me 2 seconds and I'll tell you exactly what they are. I know Belgium, Silverstone, and Germany, if I remember correctly. I'll double check that for you now.
No worries.
Where this is. Yeah, so it's Belgium, Germany, and Britain. So in that order. So it'll be Belgium at about 8 PM, Germany between 8:30 and 8:40, and then Britain about 9:15 PM.
Ooh, 3 great good tracks there for Wednesday then. Good shout out there, Vals. Thank you very much. So with obviously another action-packed week we got coming up, all the way up to next Friday. Like I said, obviously join us for next Friday for TTFL in Russia. Sunday is Canada and French Grand Prix, and then obviously on Tuesday we've got the Austrian Grand Prix done by Kieran, and obviously on Wednesday as Alan put the input for, which I totally forgot about that. So great job for Alan for reminding me on that one. For the Interleague League Cups featuring 5 multiple leagues, and then obviously back in on Thursday for British Grand Prix. So I hope you can join us there for those races coming up. And again, thank you so much for tuning in, watching us. As always, it's always been a pleasure. It's also great to read up on your comments as well. And we will see you next time, which will be next Friday for me. But you'll see everyone else, including Kieran and Andy, throughout the week as well. So take care from all the drivers, people from the comms and stewards, and also from Maze. And we will see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.